The palace is my happy place.
Me too, man.
That's
Thank
the
you.
fact.
What are your
place.
guys' opinions on religion? Do you think there is any religion that has it all right? Any religion that has it all right?
My religion's right.
Hey, Eric, well, could you a little elucidate on your religion?
Here's my religion. Morally, I don't do anything that hurts anybody. Period. That's my religion. So I just
Have you heard anything that
straight up
dense
kindness
and heavy in your life? Listen,
Yeah.
you hearing this?
That's what I do. I don't
That's
do
so
anything
good.
ill to anybody ever. I do my best at that, and I don't try to offend anybody at any point, any time in my
Sure,
life.
sure.
And I always, I would rather see people succeed more than myself, and that means mostly my family, like my wife and my kid. I'll do
Sure,
everything for
excuse me.
them. I don't care what happens to me, but I do try to, I keep everybody's interest around me in front of my own. That's my
Okay.
religion.
This is a big thing, and I've been thinking a lot about this lately.
Yeah.
And it's not a refutation of it, but I appreciate, like there's a code of honor that you have to really have in yourself to be able to recognize those things.
Yeah.
And it is a thing, and it's just people don't. It's not. This is a high trust. What you're saying right now is a high trust society. It's a high trust religion. If people got along and they respected each other in ways that are sort of godly, I would put that forth, then everything would be a lot better. But there are impediments to that enlightenment that make it harder for people to to understand. But I would.
That's a simple
It's
way
the
of
golden.
looking at it.
It's the golden rule acted out. It really is. I sometimes, when I think of those things, because I am like that. I'm very similar. You put others above yourself. It's very ingrained. It could be a Catholic thing. It could be a Woonsocket king. It definitely 100% is. And I always would put a disclaimer forth that it is sometimes not dangerous, but
You
could suffer there is suffering when you put others before you.
Yep.
There is, because in that, it's not like you have to be selfish. And I've talked a tiny bit about this in certain new moon ways about this in very brutal ways, but that no one could understand what I'm saying right now because it's too cryptic. But what I'm saying is, there's a problem you run into if you put others before you when you're diminished in some way, when you're not at a full capacity. Then you run into problems. And this is just theoretical.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Unfortunately,
if you're wrecked, you give bad advice. Is the encapsulation of that.
Okay, so there's that.
You understand?
I do get that. If you're not in a good place, you're in no position to give advice.
Yes.
That's rough. Yeah. But I guess to answer that question, you're not going to lose. Like when people say I offended them, that bothers me a lot.
I understand.
Because I don't do that. There's personas and there's characters I play. If I thought they were actually going to offend someone seriously, like, if we're labeled as being racist at points, listen, I'm smart enough to understand that I did everything in the name of comedy, and if you don't take it that way, then I think it's your problem.
Sure.
So that stuff aside, as far as being offensive, I personally don't believe it is. So that's why I would do it.
The ethics, you check the ethics against your little, I don't know what you call that.
They're my morals.
Your rules.
Yeah.
And you apply them in a universal way. And you sort of apply it in an objective way, like these are irrefutable. These are irrefutable codes that if you violate them, it's sort of whatever.
Yeah.
You get it.
I mean, I have my own set of rules, right?
Yep.
And I think they're good ones.
Sure.
But
at least you think they are.
I think, and that's all anybody can do, right? I mean, we're all just like acting the way we feel like we should.
And
so that's me personally. But
interesting.
Hey, as far as religion goes, that's my religion. Kill everybody with kindness.
That's a religion.
That's it. That's what
I do. I mean, we've already explained my version, or my religion was similar, and I respect that so much, because if everyone behaved in that fraternity and sorority and that brother and sisterhood, the sisters, then things would go very well, and it would be very wonderful. But there's a lot of people due to the way the world conditions them. They're out for themselves.
gonna
And
say,
it's every man for himself.
Unfortunately, if you did
Does a lot of damage.
If you did get your ass kicked, then you're going to act differently.
Yeah, you're
So,
going
I mean,
to.
and I don't blame you for it. I guess maybe that's the other side of it.
Everyone is different. Everyone was raised different. Everyone was subjected to these torments in a different way. But I will put forth that someone who operates as every man for himself and only for themselves is not a man in the classical sense, in the sense that has been exterminated, in the sense that really matters. You are sub-man if you act only for yourself and every man for himself. If you do not have a connection as a man with other men or a woman with other women or everyone together, whatever, it's you are really in Siberia, you are really banned from heaven, you are truly in hell and truly alone when you operate that way in life all the way. And people don't get taught those. I mean, people get abused. You know how it is. I don't judge people. Everyone has their own prerogatives. Everyone is living their own life, and people can shaft you. And hey, you know what? It is what it is. But, you can shaft other people. I mean, sometimes you learn, sometimes you don't.
That's it. So that's the answer to that one.
That's the religion. I mean, it's good. I'm so glad you brought that up, because it can be a code that is enlightening. But
well, I mean,
yeah.
I know, and I'm sorry for bringing it to a completely different area than probably what that guy,
Bring it.
Wanted to. Yeah, his question on religion. That's not probably the answer you were thinking, but that's the way I think about it.
It's the one you got.
Yep, that's what you got.
It's the one you get. If you want to get something high grade from someone who has experience, you gotta put those things on the table, and you gotta weigh them against how you live your life. People don't. There are no mentors in this world. I'm not saying we're just mentors here, but we have some experience we'd like to impart, and we do it for free, as you're seeing right now. We kind of are sort of are everyone's benefactor, if you want to put it that way. But anyway, I don't know what I was saying. Man.
I mean, that's great. I'm just happy to be here and talk about things like that. It's fun.